Hello, everyone. Roberto Rodríguez here for DRF en Español, along with Marcus Hersh from DRF. And we're here to talk about the Dubai workout. Marcus, let's start with you. Dubai Workout 27 edition. What do you think about it?
I actually think it's not that great a World Cup. Good, but not great. What's pretty great is that there are 8 Japanese horses here, which is pretty, it's insane. They did win the race once before when this track was synthetic. They ran a 1-2 Victoire Pisa one. Christian Demuro, who has mounts on this card. This is probably a tougher race than that. But, they won all those races in Saudi Arabia in 2022, did pretty well there last month, then came here and had one horse in the World Cup last year. He finished third, Chua Wizard. So those people seem intent on winning this race, and I think they might do it.
So, besides Japanese horses, any other American horse or even local horse that you may think they have a shot for it?
Well, of course, Country Grammar. He's been the favorite in the with British bookmakers for a while. Defending champion, clear contender. 1.25 miles is his distance. He comes off a similar performance in the Saudi Cup as last year, which worked for him coming into this race. So you'd have to think he has a decent shot. And then the other American horse is kind of a South American horse in super remember his name now.
Um,
Oh, Super
yeah, Super Corinto.
Corinto. So yeah, he's a pretty good horse. Who did he beat? O'Connor in the Group 1 in Chile over was it 1.25 miles? He won pretty easily. He's gonna have to run better than he ran in the 2 Gulfstream races. I assume that they were prepping him for Dubai all along. And he's a pretty good horse, but it's a tall order. But he almost no Americans this year, which is a weird thing. We've usually had stronger representation.
So we got pretty much the two favorites starting, on the outside, both 14 and 15, Country Grammar and Pantaloosa. What do you think about that? You care that much about the post draw?
I do care. And actually, I don't. We'll see how it works out in the pari-mutuel markets worldwide. But in England, with the bookmakers taking fixed odds bets, Algiers, I don't know what he is. His trainer is English, Simon Crisford, longtime racing manager for Godolphin, who's been training on his own since 2015, now co-trains with his son. So the horse was based in England until he came here for the winter. But, he's kind of a Dubai horse, too. He spent the last winter here. So Dubai English horse, but the English connection, they take more money, those English horses, with the British bookmakers. He is a close second choice behind Country Grammar. He may be second choice in the pari-mutuel pool, too. Pantaloosa could be third choice. I'm guessing that might be the way it shakes out. So Pantaloosa is going to the front no matter what anyway. You have to work a little harder from post 15, but this race starts 50 yards before the 8th pole. So there's a little time to get over. I think it's less negative for him than it is for Country Grammar. He doesn't have as much speed. He's kind of a stalker, a mid-pack type. And from 14, that's the kind of horse who can get hung really wide into the turn. I'm concerned about that for him. Algiers is 13, but he wants to be outside anyway. He was outside in his 2 big wins earlier this meet in Maktoum Challenge rounds 1 and 2. He'll probably drop back a little farther, and he doesn't want to take a lot of kickback. Stay in the clear. Pantaloosa, the more I looked at it, Roberto, the last 2 days, I don't think there's anyone to really run with him. I know that Country Grammar was closing on him at King Abdulaziz Racecourse outside Riyadh last month at 1.125 miles. But I do think that Pantaloosa is going to get loose. He's a dangerous horse on the lead. I'm against Country Grammar. Where did you come down? I'm against Country Grammar. The time of the 2022 World Cup was 2:04.97, the slowest dirt World Cup in history by a lot. This track was a plowed field last year, and it played to that horse's strength. He's just a grinder who keeps coming and coming and coming. He doesn't have a lot of speed.
Life is good, pretty much just stop.
Yeah, because that Life is Good to me was meant to win last year if the track had been the same as the one he trained on during the week. It was not the same track. He couldn't. He's suspect at a mile and a quarter anyway. A mile and an eighth was his best trip. He can do it on the right surface. That was the wrong surface. It was the right surface for this horse. Now, I mean, I think he's kind of the same horse in a lot of ways, but I'm not expecting him to be able to overcome the post and what I am going to guess is kind of a more fair track.
So you go with Penaloza?
Close, but I'm going even deeper into Japan.
Bella Azul, don't tell me it's Bella Azul. That's my picture. Yeah, but Bella Azul, because I mean, I have been watching all those horses. I saw a few replays, and when I saw him yesterday, I said, "Man, what is that horse?"
You looked at him on the
at the track. Yeah, it is. It caught my eye. It is, you know, the way that he looked at the track. It is amazing. I like a little bit Ember Row because he had a terrible break, you know, at the Saudi Cup, and to gain ground the way that he did and that track is hard to do. And that horse looks good too. So I'm gonna put those two horses. I don't like Country Grammar. I'm gonna bet against it. I'm betting against Pandaloza. Even they lose good at track. But if I had to pick, you know, between Ember Row and Bella Azul, I may go for Bella Azul because Japanese, you know, dominance.
I think a Japanese horse is going to win this race, and I'm guessing that he's going to be the one.
But if you see the last two editions of the Saudi Cup, the whole card, obviously, and Dubai World Cup last year, there are 24 races. Japan has won 12 of them, 50%. That's this crazy number. I think that's the horse, you know, it's going to be there in the last, you know, when they cross the wire. So I will go with Bella Azul.
He's an interesting horse because he was a dirt horse for the first couple years of his career and not that good. Okay, but not that great. But he had leg problems, I guess, all along, and he needed a lot of time to get over that. They put him on turf. He blossomed. He won the Japan Cup, the biggest race in Japan. I mean, that's pretty good credentials. It's a mile and a half on turf, not a mile and a quarter on dirt. Big difference, but it shows that he has the quality, right? And also, I mean, I grant that that was a really messy race in the home stretch. You probably watched it. Their horses got stopped all over the place. He managed to get through, weave his way through under a great ride from Ryan Moore. But part of the reason he was able to do that is because he was brave and he was powerful. He had the kick. Now his next race, disappointing. I guess it was the Arima Karen. He just didn't run as well, but I thought he pulled too hard and stuck outside. He just didn't fire on the day. But I'm going to forgive that race. And like you, when I first saw that horse this week, I'm like, what is that? So I was watching him closely. All the Japanese horses worked on Wednesday, including him. He worked on dirt. And he was the best one of any of them to me. His final, the way he finished in the stretch, he just flew for about 2 furlongs. And then I'm standing on the far turn, you know, where we watch the horses. I go up to as far as I can around the bend so I can see down the straight a little. And he comes by, and, you know, you hear the horses breathing hard. This horse is not breathing hard at all, not a deep breath. Now, maybe that doesn't mean anything, but I think he's dead fit. We'll see. If he doesn't like the kickback and he's in behind, you know, it's going to be tough. But at the price, don't you think we're going to get at least 20 to 1 on this horse?
I think so, and I mean that will be it. So let's try to beat the favorites in the Dubai World Cup 27 edition. Marco Hersh, Roberto Rodríguez, DRF en español. We're out.
Azul, baby.
There you go.